Okay, so dear students, we are going to continue with the circulatory system. In its next part, we have to talk about the vertebrate circulatory system, that is a closed one. So we already talked about what is an open, what is enclosed, so I just simply continue. So human and other vertebrates have a closed circulatory system, often called the cardiovascular system, as they are having heart and vessels. Now the three types of blood vessels are there, which are called arteries, which are bringing blood away from the heart, veins, which are moving blood towards the heart, and capillaries, which are for exchange with the body walls. Now, there are two more concepts, single circulation and the double circulation. Now, single circulation means that heart pushes the blood in one direction, it moves away, go to the body, and then come back to the heart. So, there's a single circuit. We call it single circuit or single circulation. Now, have a look on this example here. In a fish, what happened that heart consists of two main chambers, ventricle and atrium, and it pushes blood from the ventricle, that is, ventricle contracts and pushes the blood towards the gills. Now, blood goes towards the gill arches, make capillaries in the gills, and there is a water circulation in the gills opposite to the direction of the blood, so exchange of gases takes place and blood become oxygenated. Carbon dioxide is released into the water in the gills, and then it goes towards the body and moves to various parts of the body, and then make the systemic circulation, that is, capillaries in the different tissues of the body, and distribute gas over there, oxygen over there, collect carbon dioxide from that, and then goes back to the heart in the atrium, and then pushed. So this is called a single circuit circulation. Now, second is double circuit circulation or double circuit, or also called simply double circulation. This one is single circulation. Now, double circulation means that blood from the heart, actually amphibian, reptile, mammals, they do have double circulation. Oxygen poor and oxygen rich bloods are pumped separately from the right and left side. So it means that there are two circuits which are running at the same time. That is, oxygen poor is separate, oxygen rich is separate. Now what happened? That heart does it in a way that blood from the body comes into the atrium, then from atrium it is pushed into the ventricle down there, and then this ventricle pushes that blood towards lungs. In lungs, it exchanges gas with the air which is there in the lungs, and then become oxygenated and comes back to the other side of the heart, that is other atrium. Then in that atrium, it is pushed from that atrium, it is pushed to the ventricle. This is left side, basically, by the way, this is left side, and which is having which receives the blood is from the body is the right side. So in left side, blood comes from the lungs, which is oxygenated, then it is pushed towards the left ventricle, and then it is pushed towards the body, then goes to the body, makes the systemic or the capillaries in the tissues, and then comes back to the heart. So there are two circuits which are running at the same time, and heart is dealing with both. Right side of the heart is for oxygen poor blood, which is coming from the body, and atrium receive it from the body, push it to the ventricle, ventricle push it towards the lungs, and lungs oxygenate and give it back to the left side of the heart, that is atrium, left atrium pushes to the left ventricle pushes to the body. So this one is called pulmonary circulation, and the other one is called systemic circulation. So there are two circuits running at the same time. Same happens in reptiles, and also in mammals and birds. So this is called double circulation. Now a few more adaptations that we need to talk about here. Like in amphibians, what happened that heart, the atria are fully divided, but ventricle is not fully divided, and ventricle is actually there is a kind of a separation by blood, that because deoxygenated blood is there in the right atrium, so it pushes there down there in the ventricle, half part of it, and left atrium is having oxygenated blood, it pushes it down towards the ventricle, the half part of it, the left half part of it, and then it pushes the blood, ventricle pushes the blood towards the body. but there is a mixing up of blood in between, because ventricle is not divided. So of course this oxygen poor and this oxygen rich blood will mix somewhere in between. What happens in reptiles, um, that the ventricle is almost divided, but there is a slit, still there is a small slit at the end of the ventricle which is there from where blood can mix up. In mammals and birds, what happens, that this slit does not exist and ventricle is fully divided. So in mammals and birds, there is no mixing of blood. In reptiles, there is some mixing of blood, but in these amphibians, there is a lot of mixing of blood in between the ventricle. So that's the adaptation, important adaptation. Now the arteries, veins, and the capillaries. Have a look on this diagram. The arteries, have to push blood away from the heart, move blood away from the heart. So from heart, blood comes into the artery. Artery becomes small arterioles. Arterioles are divided into branches, small branches which are called capillaries. If we look at a capillary, it's very small. It have a single layer of cell making its boundary, and inside here you can see in the diagram that red blood cells are single cell is actually moving at the same time. Single cell is almost filling this artery, this capillary, and then moving down there. So here, because there is single layer of cells of the boundary of the capillary and single layer cell of the blood cells, so exchange of materials is very easy to take place with the tissues, because tissues are here and there surrounding. If we just can elaborate this diagram, then here, and here will be the cells and the extracellular tissues. So what will happen around this? So exchange directly takes place, exchange of gases, food, nutrients, excretory material, everything, uh, food, etc., takes place between the cell or extracellular fluid with this blood at the capillary level, and that mostly takes place against concentration gradients, and also by the pressure of the blood inside these capillaries, which is of course coming from the artery, because heart pushes the blood with pressure that is highest in the aorta, then lesser in the artery, more less, more. So ultimately when it reaches there in capillaries, there is slighter pressure, but still exists. Then these, when exchanges takes place, after that they join to make a venule. Then that venule join to make veins, and veins are bringing blood back to the heart. Now in veins, definitely pressure is very low. Now to, because with, and secondly, mostly veins are going back towards the heart. They have to go, blood has to go far away distance with lesser pressure. So veins are having valves. These valves actually prevent backflow. These are not there in the arteries. These are there only in the veins. And what happened, that they actually stops the backflow of blood that may happen due to much less pressure. And secondly, if these are going up towards the heart, the gravitational pull is down there. I mean from lower side of the body. Then to also overcome the gravitational pull, it is also required. So valves are there in the veins which are not present in the arteries. So this is the whole system. So this was about the circulatory system in different organisms, an overview of it. Now we'll talk about the gas exchange in next part of it. Though gas exchange is essential part of the circulatory system, but we'll talk about the gas exchange in next part of it. So thank you, and you can post your questions like you always do on WhatsApp group or in chat.